Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto channel. Guys, today we're going to dive into the altcoins. What I want to do is encourage you to take a look at this altcoin with an open mind, okay? I know what you want to hear. Everybody wants to hear that their coin is going to 50x, 100x. I get it. I want to hear that too, okay? But listen to me. I've been through 3 bull markets and I'm now in my 3rd bear market, okay? And I'm not saying I'm always correct, okay? But I know how these things go, okay? We're going to look at the coin from a technical standpoint. How many of you a few weeks ago, as your coin was going up 60, 70, 100%, was listening to the influencers telling you this time is different, super cycle, Bitcoin dominance is headed down, alt season is here, blah, 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 blah. And today your coin is probably down 50%, okay? Don't listen to the noise, okay? We're going to look from a technical standpoint, okay? I don't know about your fundamentals of your coin. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. We can't predict what may happen later, what partnerships may come in, what scandals may come up. We can't predict those types of things, but what we can predict and know for a fact are things like tokenomics, circulating supply, technical analysis. Those things don't change. So we can look at it from a technical standpoint and take a realistic approach to what this coin might do. If anything comes later, like some sort of hopium or some sort of deal or some sort of thing like that in the economy with your coin, where it gets worldwide mass adoption, great, that's a bonus. But be prepared for less, okay? Or be prepared for a more realistic target. The biggest mistake I made in my first cycle was listening to everyone else who said that my coin was going to 50, 60x. And as I sat here and watched it 10 and 15x, which was great, I didn't take profit because I was waiting on that 50x because I believed the narrative. And I wound up writing that coin all the way back down and round tripping it, right? I learned from that mistake. If you're not at least open-minded to hearing what a conservative approach would be, then you're only showing your inexperience in this market. So don't be inexperienced. If you are inexperienced, at least try to learn, okay? If I think your coin's going to 100x, I'm going to tell you that. If I think it's going to 5x, I'm going to tell you that. If I think it's going to 0, I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to keep it real with you. I know I could get way more clicks by just coming in and shouting 100x, but that's not going to serve you anything good in the future. So let's take a realistic approach to these coins, and we'll see if we can figure out where a good bull market top is going to be. Let's take a look at the charts. Here we go. Taking a look at HBAR, Hedera hash graph. I am on the Binance weekly chart. Now, I know I just gave a big spiel about ignoring fundamentals and paying attention to technicals, which we're going to do. However, I will acknowledge that HBAR is one of the stronger fundamental coins. It actually has real-world utility, and more than that, it has followed through from cycle to cycle with its growth, okay? You don't necessarily see that growth reflected in price, and that's because of token dilution or market dilution, and we're going to talk about that now. Let's go ahead and dive into HBAR. So you set a price all-time high on HBAR in September of 2021 of 58 cents. Now, at that time, you had a market cap of $5.5 billion and a circulating supply of 9.5 billion. All right, pay attention. So we fast forward to this most recent cycle, and in January of 25, you set a cycle high of 40 cents. However, this is important. At the time of your 40-cent cycle high, your market cap was 15.3 billion. That is triple your market cap that you set price all-time high of 58 cents, okay? Which means you had 3 times more money come into this asset, even though price was about 30% lower. Why is that? Circulating supply. In January of 2025 at 40 cents, you had 38.2 billion coins on the market compared to 9.5 billion at 58 cents. So your market was diluted by adding about 4 times the coins on the market. So that diluted price significantly. Let's look at today's price action. We have a price of 8 cents with a market cap of 3.42 billion and a circulating supply of 43.4 billion. Now, by the next cycle, whether we top in Q4 or sooner or later, by the next cycle, all of Hedera's coins will be on the market. That is 50 billion. So you'll have a fully diluted market with all coins in circulation. In order for your price to return to your all-time high at 58 cents, Since there will be over 5 times the number of coins on the market, you're going to have to more than 5x your market cap in order to reach that. You're actually going to have to hit a $29 billion market cap in order for you to reach price all-time high. Okay. Now, I do think you can increase your market cap this cycle because you increased it dramatically from cycle 1 to cycle 2. So let's take a look at my prediction and see what I think can happen here. All right, I have a bull run. Let me update this. This is incorrect. This should be 30 cents. All right, what I just corrected, and that's my fault, I apologize for that, is if you just reach your previous cycle market cap high, which was 15 billion, okay, if you just reach that, your price is going to be 30 cents, not 40 cents like it is before, to be 30 cents because you're going from 38 billion to 50 billion coins on the market. So you could have the same market cap with a lower price. And I marked that out on the white line. Okay, the white line is 30 cents if you just reach last cycle's market cap. Okay, but I think you do increase given the fundamentals and given the fact that this is a bullish structure, at least on market cap. You're increasing market cap from cycle to cycle. I predict that you'll do a $25 billion market cap, which will put your price at 50 cents. So I do not think you break all-time high at 58 cents. I do think you hit a run-up of 50 cents. Everyone is calling for $1. In order for HBAR to hit $1, you would have to have a market cap of $50 billion. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that. It is certainly possible. I just don't see that happening. Alts, with the exception of few, and HBAR is one of the few exceptions, alts did poorly last cycle. So you just can't guarantee, you can't bank on, you can't bet on, you can't gamble on the fact that they might do even better next cycle. You would have to more than triple your previous market cap, your market cap all-time high in order to do that. And it is possible, but I wouldn't count on it. If you get it, great, but expect less and be grateful if you get more, right? However, I don't think the low is in for this cycle on HBAR, so it could still be a good investment. I do think you're going to come down to this nice area of support here below, especially if Bitcoin rolls over in Q4 of this year. I do think you're going to come down and get a HBAR somewhere around 4.5 to 6 cents. Let's call it 5 cents. And then if you ran up to 50 cents, which is my bull run target, that would give you a 10x. That is what I predict. I think you'll get a 10x, not from current price at almost 8 cents. I think you're going to get a shot down at about 5 cents, give you a 10x return on your investment. That is where we are. Let me know in the comments below what you think of that prediction. If you have other altcoins you want me to look at, drop them in the comments below. I'll be glad to do that for you. And I will see you guys next time.